turbo kit is right for you? So this is a question I asked myself before I picked up the HKS GT3 turbo kit for my 23 BRZ. And how I figured out that I wanted the HKS kit. Well, there's a few different things, different factors that I had to consider that we're going to be talking about in today's video. How are you going to choose what turbo kit to go with for your second gen BRZ? There's a few other turbo kits on the market. We have HKS, we have JDL, we have SME, I think that's Sydney Motorsports. We have GReddy, PNL. I would say there's a handful. There's not too many, but there's a handful of turbo kits on the market. If you decide not to go custom, then these are your options. And obviously they range from prices, the options that they offer, whether that's wastegate, blow-off valve, Cerakote, the other options such as like fueling upgrades, you have the map sensor upgrade. So these are all things to consider when you're picking up a turbo kit, because obviously you need to support that turbo. And cooling. If you guys seen the last video, I'll throw up on screen. Cooling is definitely a concern when it comes to boosting your BRZ, your GR86. So before we hop into kind of our discussion together, our talk about when it comes to comparing, going over the factors of each turbo kit, or just turbo kits in general, because I didn't hit all of the turbo kits available for this platform in today's video. But I more or less just wanted to talk about the factors when it comes to considering a turbo kit for this platform. Before we hop into that, we're gonna do a little driving so you guys get an idea of how the HKS Turbo sounds, how it feels, different things. So far we have about, let's say, 1,600 miles on the dash when it comes to adding the turbo kit. What we're gonna go over in today's video is more or less, I try to keep it on the factual side of what to consider and kind of how to choose a turbo kit that is right for you. We got some oil temps, 208 Fahrenheit, 80 IAT. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's on the lower end for our temps when it comes to IAT and oil temp, but we haven't really pushed the car at all, and it's not too hot today. Let's see our temps. See what we got. 213 oil, 77 IAT. Not too bad at all. If you take a look, our max, definitely 100% recommend to have some type of gauge like this. So you see our highest was at 118. Definitely not the highest I've seen, but that's because we're in traffic. When we're in traffic, IATs go up. When we're on roads like this, we're at 77, we're chilling. So that's that. Oil temps, 215 was the highest. If we really push it, then we'll probably see up to like 240, 250. $219, max was $221 for oil. So you want to turbo your second gen BRZ or GR86, but which kit do you go with? Well, in today's video, we're gonna be breaking that down. But before we do hop into today's video, I do wanna say that I'm not sponsored by any of the kits mentioned in today's video. So this is our 2023 Subaru BRZ with about 16,000 miles on her, and we have recently installed HKS's GT3 RS turbo kit. But before I went with HKS's GT3 turbo kit, I was in the same position of which turbo kit is right for me. You guys asked why I decided to go with the HKS GT3 turbo kit, so we're gonna break that down first. So the HKS turbo kit comes in around $5.5 grand, and that is not including supporting mods. However, one thing the HKS turbo kit is known for is its very thorough instructions and its hassle-free install process. The kit is very inclusive. You get pretty much everything out the box, ready to go, ready to be bolted onto your car and to go. From parts to exact measurements, to torque specifications, to even all the heat wrap. You get it all with this kit. There's maybe 5% of guesswork that you have to do with this kit. And that's why a lot of people decide to go with this kit alone. Affordability and hassle-free. Those are some main factors of the HKS kit. Now, the biggest con about this kit is its lack of customization. You don't have an option for a blow-off valve. You only get that internal wastegate. You have no option for Cerakote. So if you want to get your hot parts Cerakoted, you're gonna have to do them on your own and wait a while. And all other supporting mods, such as a map sensor, such as fueling upgrades, if you decide to go with that, meaning you're gonna have to do your own research to see if those parts are right for you. Luckily enough, we do have a build sheet on our ZD8 BRZ down below, so if you guys want to check out what parts are running on this car, then go check it out down below. Let's talk about the JDL turbo kit. The JDL turbo kit is one I heavily considered and almost went with, but I did. The amount of customization you get with that kit is what makes it shine. You have your option of what turbo manifold you want, equal length or unequal length. You have an option of Cerakote. You have an option for a wastegate, and you have different options for blow-off valves, GReddy, HKS, or Turbo Smart. But most importantly, you have different size turbos. As of this video, JDL offers 3 different size turbos, all Garrett, and a Pulsar turbo as a more affordable option. JDL also includes the option to pick up a map sensor, to pick up a pre-welded oil pan, to pick up coated intercooler piping, pick up slim fans. Needless to say, JDL offers a lot to make it very easy for your just buy and go experience. Not only that, but Jesse at JDL has made a name for himself with his quality welds and quality metals that he uses. Now the cons, adding up all those parts to the JDL kit could make it expensive pretty damn quickly, and we're talking around 10K. So if you don't know exactly what you need or want, then maybe the JDL kit may not be for you. If you know exactly what you want from a turbo kit and you've been around the block a couple times, then this kit will deliver to you. It's gonna be best for those who are experienced and have prior knowledge with boosted applications or have a tuner shop nearby. Before we move on to the next kit, the biggest gripe with the JDL kit that is a known gripe is the fact that it does not come with any instructions. If JDL included an instruction booklet with the kit, then I think a lot more people will consider picking it up. That's just my personal opinion. Next kit, the GReddy kit. Now, some of you guys from the Gen 1s might know of the GReddy kit. GReddy is a well-known JDM brand that produces quality parts. They have proven their reliability in the past, and it is very similar to the HKS kit in design. Some of the biggest differences that are made apparent is number one, the intercoolers. The HKS is more thin, whereas the GReddy is more wide, and on the GReddy kit, the cat is a separate piece. Unfortunately, if you reside anywhere else than Japan, you're probably gonna have to pay a premium for this kit, and that's the main reason why I personally didn't go with it, because of that price factor. It comes with instructions. The install is similar to the HKS kit. It's a moderate level, but that price point makes it very hard to justify. We're talking 8 to 9 grand for the kit. So if you don't mind paying a premium for that premium kit, then it might be for you. If you want more or less a plug and play reliable kit with warranty, then this kit might be for you. Let's talk about PNL. So if you guys know, K24 Austin, now N54 Austin, and Chris Borges ran the PNL kit and made about 600 wheel on this platform with the PNL kit. We also have Phelps Garage running the PNL kit. So this kit has proven to push a little bit of power and hold it decently well. The PNL kit is a very good option because of how inclusive it is and its affordable price. It comes in just a little below the JDL kit. You get a tie-all wastegate, you get a tie-all blow-off valve, you get fully ceramic coated exhaust parts, which they offer the rest of the exhaust as well. You get a 3-inch downpipe. The HKS kit does not come with that. You get V-bands with this kit, which some of you guys might like, and you get that optional 4-bar map sensor at checkout. And as of right now, you get the G3660 turbo with it. And all of this comes with a 25-page do-it-yourself instruction booklet. So you're probably thinking, P&L sounds like a really good kit right now. And you wouldn't be wrong. Very inclusive, quality parts, and affordable. However, unfortunately, the major downfall with this kit is the fact that the turbo manifold on it has boost creep issues, which was also made known by Phelps Garage through his videos on YouTube. So people have opted not to go with P&L until they fix the turbo manifold. If they do fix the turbo manifold by the time this video drops, then of course let me know down below or I will let you guys know. That aside, P&L is one of the lesser known brands in comparison to the rest that we mentioned in this video. So that is one thing to consider as well. All right, let's talk about some big factors to consider when you're picking up a turbo kit for your BRZ and GR86. Number one that we all know and love is this. What's your budget? How much are you looking to put into your turb ski? Are you looking for a more affordable option to save up for, let's say, supporting mods, something that we consider for our HKS build? Are you looking for, I guess, mid-tier, something like the P&L kit? Or are you looking for more of a premium, maybe such as the JDL, maybe such as the GReddy kit? After you pick up your turbo kit and get it installed all fine and dandy, well, you're gonna need to get tuned. And tuning isn't cheap per se. So you have tuning, you have all the supporting mods, possibly fueling, you have to consider cooling that needs to be done to accommodate for the turbo that you added because it's gonna be pretty damn hot. You need to accommodate for the more power you just threw to the wheels. You're gonna need to straighten out your suspension, your alignment. For example, on our BRZ, we're running a little more camber than I wanted in the rear after adding the turbo kit. It was made apparent when I was taking corners, so I decided to reduce it. But that's not free unless you have a shop of your own, which gets us to our next point, but we're gonna tackle that in a minute. There's a pretty big rabbit hole when it comes to supporting mods, especially when you add a turbo kit. So making sure you have the correct amount of budget you're budgeting, the amount of mods you're throwing at your car is important and is key. When it comes to piecing together your turbo kit, you do not, and I say it again, you do not want to cheap out on parts. Do not cheap out on piecing together your turbo kit. You're gonna have a bad time. Speaking about bad times, if you're a DIY guy like myself, then you're gonna want instructions. That's another thing to consider. Are you gonna want instructions? 100% for me, when I saw JDL didn't have instructions, unfortunately, I was like, that it makes it a little difficult for me, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't want to be held responsible. I mean, granted, I am putting the parts on, but it makes it a little difficult for when there's nothing laid out. It's gonna take a lot longer unless you're very damn experienced. And unfortunately, hearing about the JDL kits that have blown up, I'm not trying to say anything bad about that. I'm just saying, based on my research alone, the JDL turbos, the kits, they were installed improperly. It was even recommended by my tuner, if the kit is not perfectly installed, then you're gonna have a bad time. So back to what I was saying earlier, JDL instructions, I think that would come in handy. However, if you're having a shop install it, then something like the JDL kit could work for you. So that is another factor to consider. Are you DIY or are you gonna have a shop install the kit? And that leads into the next factor, is how simple is the kit? Is the kit making you jump through hoops to install it? Is it a pain in the butt? Well, the HKS kit was a pretty decent, a pretty moderate install. And the thing is, if I have to go maintain it, if I have to take stuff apart, as a DIY guy, I feel comfortable doing that. You want something that is easy to maintain. This way you could access to different parts in the future. Let's say your pulleys go bad. Okay, I know how to pop the turbo out so I could do my pulleys. When it comes to simplicity, I'm only gonna mention the HKS kit because that is the experience that I have gained through installing this kit, and the HKS kit is a pretty simple install. Next factor, tuning. What is your tuner familiar with? We went with Zach over at CSG. He is very experienced. He's tuned JDL, he's tuned HKS, P&L, probably GReddy. He gave me his feedback on all three kits. You want to make sure with whoever your tuner you're going with, number one, that it's a good tuner. Number two, that they're somewhat experienced with the kit. So when in doubt, always, before you even pick up your turbo kit, consult your tuner. Alrighty, Here's the fun one, power goals. What are your power goals? Now, we're not pushing too much power on this thing. We got 406 to the wheels on her. Dynoed at the shop, CT. My goal was 400. That was my goal. That's where I wanted to land. 350 is substantial. I'd say for this chassis, for the Gen 2, if you're looking at 350 to 400, that is a good ballpark. Now, all of the kits that I've mentioned are capable of reaching at least 350. If you decide to upgrade fueling and go on E85, the 350 to 400 power range on the FA24 platform has been proven to be comfortable and reliable. If you're shooting for 450, it gets a little hairy. That brings us to our next factor. What size turbo? Well, in the HKS kit, we have a smaller size turbo. That being said, she spools pretty quick around 3K RPM, medium throttle. Something to consider when you're picking up a turbo is how you drive the car. Adding the turbo kit on this car has changed my driving style immensely. When I'm in the corners, when I'm driving this car, I make an effort to not give it a lot of torque. Torque is known to kill these motors. So when you add that turbo, don't go trying to race everybody with the car. The way I drive this car is in the corners and I take it through the rev range. I'm looking for that speed in the corners, that high acceleration to move quick. So let your driving style and the weak point of this motor be the deciding factor on what size turbo you go with. However, stuff like torque can be tweaked by your tuner as long as you request it. Alrighty, last thing I'm gonna throw you guys is brand support and warranty. Kits like HKS and GReddy are made in Japan, so the warranty, the support process is gonna be a little more difficult to get through. Versus JDL and PNL, they are US based and might be a little easier to work with when it comes to support and warranty. They're also much smaller brands. So what I wanna make clear is that there's no best turbo kit. Each turbo kit has their pros and cons that fit a specified buyer. When it comes to affordability, when it comes to selectable options, you have a multitude of factors to consider when picking up a turbo kit for your BRZ and GR86. I decided to pick up the HKS turbo kit because of its affordability, its inclusiveness, its instructions, and recommendation by my tuner. I just want to say, I think we're lucky enough to have that many options of turbo kits for this platform. It really brings it to life. And what's even more important is that they're quality kits, manufactured by people with experience. I do want to know which turbo kit you are considering, and I am curious if you are boosted on your BRZ GR86, what kit did you go with and why? With that being said though, I am gonna end off today's video. Do let me know down below what kind of video you want to see next on our BRZ GR86 newly boosted. By the way, I do want to thank you guys so much for watching to the end of today's video. It does mean the world to me, and I do want to see you guys in the next one. So make sure you're subscribed. If you're not, what the heck are you doing? And be sure to like the video. Other than that though, I'm gonna get the heck up out of here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Whoop, peace.